Mark Skaar on the Skaar Kaard on 103.7 The Fox. Robert Jon Burrison is here. Robert Jon and The Wreck. How are you, my friend?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being on with us. You're going to be up in our region Sunday, December 10th at the 7th Street Entry in Minneapolis. So looking forward to getting people out for that show. Tell me a little bit about the touring life. I'm sure you've played around that area many times in your career.
Yeah, my family's from South Dakota, so starting off touring and everything. We were in South Dakota and Iowa and Minnesota quite a bit, and we haven't been back up there in a while, but we were in Minneapolis, I think, 2 years ago at 7th Street Entry, so we're really excited to be back.
I know you were in Sioux Falls back in August. How was that?
Yeah, that was great. It was a blast. It's always fun for me to play out in the Midwest because I'm always out there with family and everything, so it was a blast, and we can't wait to get back there, too.
One thing that strikes me about Robert Jon and The Wreck is you guys are very prolific. You're always cranking out music, and you've got an association now with one of the greats, Joe Bonamassa. How did that happen?
Well, we were invited on one of his blues cruises, so we went on that and got to meet the team, and they invited us to another one, and we got to meet the team again and just kind of have a relationship. So it just kind of felt natural to work with them and see where we can take it together.
Probably feels good, Robert, to have full creative license to do what you want to and what you like to do.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's that's what we've done our whole career so far. So not being able to do what we like or feel how we feel, that would be something that we'd have to get used to. But luckily, we don't.
That's good. We're with Robert Jon and The Wreck. Again, they're performing at 7th Street Entry in Minneapolis, December 10th. I wanted to talk to you about a record I really enjoyed, Ride Into the Light. What was it like making that?
It was a little different, a little out of our comfort zone because we had the opportunity to work with different people. We worked with 4 amazing producers on that, including Joe Bonamassa and Kevin Shirley and Dave Cobb and Don Was. So it was just a different beast, but we really enjoyed it, and working with those legends was just incredible. So we're really excited about how it came out and excited to get it on the road here in the U.S.
Yeah, let's talk about those guys, because I know just reading up, a guy like Kevin Shirley likes to work quickly.
Yeah, him and Dave Cobb both are very quick. There's not a lot of time to sit around and think too much, and I think that's honestly better for the music. I feel like if you think too much, you're losing the magic that just kind of comes out of your fingers or your voice just off the cuff.
And those guys are always in demand, so there you go. Yeah. And then Don Was, what was that like?
Man, he's his own legend in the world, right? It was pretty crazy. It was more of not thinking about everything too much and just making the vibe of the studio feel good and making sure everyone's relaxed and just playing music. And it was a really cool experience. So we hope to work with them all again.
Robert Jon and The Wreck is the name of the band. We've been playing the music for, several years here on the Skaar Kaard, and you worked on that record at Henson Studios. I understand that there's a lot of famous records that were cut there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even start to list them off, but too many to choose from.
So that was cut there, and then you've released these 2 new songs, Hold On and Stone Cold Killer. Like I said, every time I turn around, you guys are putting out something new, and I like it. And so prolific is the word. Do you have a stockpile of songs you can go to? And I know you're always writing.
Yeah, we're always writing, and those 2 songs will be on our upcoming record that we'll announce very soon, and we got even more music coming out. I think, honestly, before we play in Minneapolis, I think there's a new track coming out. So
really,
there's always new stuff on the board.
What can you tell me about that, if you can tell me anything?
Yeah, it'll be coming out the first week of December, I believe, and then there's more fun information on the horizon too. And we cut that song with Kevin Shirley.
Okay. Well, that's a tease, as we call it in the business. So
yeah,
we can't let too much out of the can. Somebody somewhere will get upset with me if I coax that out. So, Robert, how does an LA-based band sound like you came out of the South? It's like Creedence Clearwater Revival and bands like that did the same thing.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I don't have a firm answer for you. We started playing music, and we started just playing music that we wanted to, that we loved hearing, that we kind of gear ourselves toward. We weren't starting to play music and wanting to have that Southern tinge or anything. It was just it's just what comes out of us naturally. And, I always say we're from Southern California, so it's California Southern rock. But, the Eagles had from here. Tom Petty was from Florida, but he moved out here. And it's a strange thing, but we're excited about where we are and where we're from, and we'll continue to do it.
Robert, what's 2024 looking like for you?
Oh man, I mean, we'll be back on the road in the States in February. And then there's little jaunts here and there. We'll be on the road quite a bit, and a lot in the U.S. compared to the previous year. So we're excited to hit the road running.
You guys are road dogs. That's where it's all done, and you just get better and better as you go and throughout the years. And how many records? I was going to count, and I made a mistake before we talked on the phone here about the records that started coming out in about 2015. You got to be close to 10 records now already.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, in between them all, there's a couple EPs and compilation type stuff. But I mean, I would have to look up the exact number as well. I don't even fully know. But yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely at least 8 studio records, I think, and then there's a couple compilation ones and the live one out that we just released not too long ago, and yeah. Yeah,
there's always things coming out. We're talking with Robert Jon and The Wreck. Are you going to be able to be home at all for the holidays?
Yeah, definitely. Holidays and family are important to us, so we'll be home for Christmas time, and then we won't be home for New Year's. We're out with Blackberry Smoke for a short run with them, but we'll definitely be home for the holidays.
Man, what a great double bill that is, because you guys remind me of them, and I've had the pleasure of seeing them a handful of times, and that's going to be a very compatible night. That's going to be a blast.
Yeah, we're excited. We did a run with them last spring, and it went great. I mean, besides the musicality of how great they are and the songwriting, they're just a great group of guys, which makes everything better.
Robert, if people want to find you online and keep in touch with you and find out tour dates and merch and all that good stuff, how can they go about doing that?
RobertJonandTheWreck.com. Robert, Jon, and The Wreck. WRECK.com has everything you need, and it can guide you. I mean, if you're an Instagram person, we update that. If you're a Facebook person, we're updating that. I know everyone has their own versions of how they get their information, but the website is where to go to get locked into everything.
Robert Jon and The Wreck performing at 7th Street Entry in downtown Minneapolis. Everybody knows where First Avenue is, right across the street from Target Center. It's Sunday, December 10th. Robert, all the best going forward. Thank you so much for being on with us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
That's Robert Jon Burrison, Robert Jon and The Wreck. I'm Mark Skaar on the Skaar Kaard, the new classic rock that rocks on 103.7 The Fox.